think now the recording is on, and please, Timo Rossi and Matti Mäkelä, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Matti. Good morning, everyone, and welcome also on my behalf. And as Matti said, we are today running our second session of this 3 webinars series. And today we will focus on the topic operative sustainability in terms of ESG reporting. And first, I will give you some background why this is important, why it's important topics, especially from supply chain management point of view, what kind of like a management model we have developed for that, what kind of concrete use cases we have developed for that. And after that, my colleague Matti Mäkelä will show you how it actually works in Jakamo in real life. Okay, but some background first, like why this sustainability is becoming so important topic in manufacturing industry in general, but for especially from the point of view of supply chain. First of all, there are quite many drivers nowadays which are shaping the operating environment of companies from sustainability point of view. There's a lot of politics, steering legislation and regulation coming. For example, this CSRD directive, which took place 1st of 1st this year. And there's more to come, for example, this CS from EEE and so on. Also, there are many global commitments, for example, this Science-Based Targets initiative, which many of the companies have committed. Also, there's finally coming the price for impacts and emissions. Many of the banks and investors, they have set up very like ambitious targets for their investment and loan portfolio companies to reduce their CO2 emissions, for example. Also, consumer values are changing. Most of the consumers are valuing sustainability in their purchasing decisions. And in the industry side, there are that kind of like leading companies which are also setting a lot of pressure, for example, for this supply chain sustainability, which is then reflecting to the whole chain, to all parts of the supply chain. And finally, it has been like a pretty difficult actually to track this kind of like a sustainability data, for especially in supply chain. It has been very manual with Excels and so on, but now there are tools available also to handle this efficiently. For example, Jakamo platform. And this is something that we will demonstrate to you today, how it works in practice. And why it's for especially important to focus on supply chain sustainability. For example, there's that kind of like a US research a couple of years back, which indicates that actually the supply chain emissions from GHG are 11.4 times higher in supply chain than operational emissions. So it means that you can do perfectly everything in-house, but you are still covering only less than 10% of the emissions. So that's why it's so critical to focus on the supply chain side as well. And if we are taking this even in more concrete level, we are taking a GHG footprint of a product in its value chain. There is this scope 3 upstream, the things that you are buying, scope 1 and 2, the impacts and emissions that are generated in your own operations, and then scope 3 downstream when you are distributing and recycling the products and so on. And actually, from 60, depending a bit on the company, from 60 to 90% of GHG emissions and also other sustainability impacts comes from the purchases. So that means that actually the role of procurement and supply chain management is super critical. And that's something that customer and supplier companies need to handle together. First of all, to track the data, but also to think about together how to develop things to reduce emissions and so on. And if we go even to more concrete level, what you can actually do in practice, we have developed that kind of like a holistic supply chain sustainability model. It's kind of like a management model, and it's including 3 different areas. First of all, there is supplier compliance. You need to understand your supplier's capabilities and their compliance in terms of your requirements. That's something that we were actually focusing in our latest webinars a couple of weeks back. Secondly, there's this operative sustainability that we are focusing more today. It means that you need to be able to track the GHG and other sustainability impacts of the items that you are buying, the materials, the components, sub-assemblies, subsystems, and so on. You need to be able to track efficiently those impacts from your supply chain as well. And then there's the third section that we will actually focus in 2 weeks in our third webinar. It's this sustainability innovation. It means that you actually go innovating with your suppliers new products which are more sustainable to manufacture, new ways of working, new processes, and so on. And if we think about these 3 areas here, we would say that this supplier compliance and operative sustainability, they are something which is becoming mandatory. It is already for some companies, but it will be for everyone. So these 2 parts, you need to know your suppliers, you need to know the impacts of the things that you are buying. It's something that each of the company, they need to have in good shape. Or if not, there's a risk to become like obsolete in the market. And then this third part, this sustainability innovation, is maybe when you have these 2 others in good shape, the third part is actually something where you can then create competitive advantages when you are like developing things even better. Yes, so that's the model. And as said, today we will focus on this operative sustainability. And we have created that kind of like a digital use cases together with our customers for supply chain sustainability in this ESG, very well-known ESG framework. So it means that we have created that kind of like matrix, which is having supplier compliance, operative sustainability, and sustainability innovation, and then environmental, social, and governance impacts. And we have like a set of ready-made use cases and applications for each of those boxes here. And today, as said, we will talk about and demonstrate this operative sustainability side. And we will today focus on this like operative sustainability environmental side. It means that when you are ordering products, materials, sub-assemblies, subsystems from your suppliers, you need to be able to deduct the data. And what kind of data it can be? It can be, for example, ROS or REACH, or it can be like a water footprint or energy consumption. It can be CO2 emissions and so on. So that's something that my colleague Matti Mäkelä will show you now. So please, Matti.
Thank you, Timo. So my name is Matti Mäkelä. I'm a co-founder and work as a CPO in Jakamo. And like Timo said, today I will be giving a very practical presentation on how to collect emissions data from your suppliers. In this picture, you can see very typical case where customer is purchasing stuff from the suppliers, and suppliers are responding with order confirmations. And of course, these purchase orders contain the information about the items and products that you are ordering and what is being delivered to you. And we are now able to tie these product dimensions to those items and to the purchasing process, and it's easy to collect, for example, CO2 information, water consumption, energy consumption, or any other things that are important for your business. So it's completely dynamic, and you can decide what kind of information you need to collect. Let's see it in practice. And introducing Jakamo products. Right now I'm acting as a customer company called Acme Corporation, and I have new functionality in my orders application. There's this products section here. And in this view, you can see a third view on the products that you're sharing in a certain customer-supplier business relationship. And I can simply see what kind of items are being handled or ordered between my company and this supplier. This view here can be populated automatically. We can take the data from your purchase orders and populate all the items here automatically. That means that you don't need to necessarily manually enter this data if you don't want to. We can help you import this data, or you can add manually products to this product database. And let's try adding one product as an example. So basically, I have a new product here. It is a control module product called control module, and I can simply save this, and now this information is being shared between me and this supplier. There are few product properties here. For example, this is for CO2, this is for country of origin, and there can be many other fields. But I might want to add few properties for water consumption and power consumption, and it goes like this. There is properties function here. I will click it, and I already have one product property called origin, and let's add new ones. Let's call it water consumption. It's a numeric figure, and we're talking about liters, and I can simply save this. And let's add same kind of information for power consumption. It's also numeric. We're talking about kilowatt or kilowatt hours to be precise. And one more for weight. This is not that sustainability related necessarily, but it can be important information for you. And it's in kilograms, like this. Now I have few new product dimensions or properties, and they can be seen here in the table. I can also select which information I would like to show on this table, so I can easily drop product description, for example. So what we have here now is that we have a shared view between you and the supplier. They are able to see the same table. They are able to fill in this data, but if you need to emphasize that you need certain fields to be inputted and emphasize that even more, it can be done with a questionnaire. So basically, now I want I need to know CO2 about control modules, wiring harnesses, and this rotary encoder set, about water consumption, power consumption, and so on. And now I can simply send this questionnaire to the supplier, and let's see what happens on the supplier side. So basically, I'm now acting as a person in supplier company. It's called General Supply, and I can see in Jakamo that there's a new purchase order from my customer. And as you can see, this purchase order happens to contain same information that we were requesting data for just a few minutes ago. And when we confirm this order, we confirm it. This is something that suppliers do daily. I confirm it as requested because this is a happy flow. Jakamo notices that there are products in the purchase order that we are requesting information to, and we can simply click on that, and we can see that customer is asking for information about emissions, water consumption, power consumption for these products. Let's fill it in quickly. Like this. So now the supplier has provided information regarding these items, and we have been notifying the suppliers to be to start providing this data for you. And let's see how it looks on the customer side. And as you might guess, you now have the emissions information for water consumption and so on for these products. So next would be the next steps, how to go forward and start using Jakamo products. First, you should contact us, and let's agree on how we populate that product database. You need to design the content. You can do it yourself, or we can help with that. Basically, defining what kind of information you want to collect regarding to your products. And after that, simply start collecting that data from your suppliers. And this happens side by side with your daily operations with your suppliers. It's been embedded to the purchasing process. Of course, there will be APIs for the customer that can be used to connect any system that you need to connect. Basically, you can connect your BI systems. You can take the product data and put it in a data lake. You can save it in your ERP or any other system where you need the data. This solution is available now, and please don't hesitate to ask more if you need more information. We are really happy to help you. Thank you, and back to you, Matti.
Thank you, Matti. This is so inspiring. First of all, we have been doing this a quite long time with our customers, and now finally it's available and looks good. Please give questions to Timo and Matti, and we will share them here. But first of all, what needs to be done if a customer wants to start to use it? What kind of actions need to be done to get it running?
Yeah, basically you only need to contact us, and we will turn it on. And I was showing our pre-production environment. it will be rolled out to the production in upcoming next update. So basically we are ready to start anytime.
Does it require this kind of big IT project?
It's a good question. It's really non-technically intensive project. I'm not that technical person myself, but I would be able to connect my BI system to the product's data source, and basically that information what you saw on the screen is available for any other systems. And of course it depends on the system that you want to integrate, but it's very simple and straightforward.
Yes, and if we think about this kind of concrete benefits, if you would like to list 3 most concrete benefits, what would they be when to start using this?
That's a tough question. First of all, this is an easy way to collect emissions data regarding your products from your suppliers, and it happens side by side with daily purchasing operations. So it's built into the daily way of working, and it doesn't need to be a separate process where you need to collect data manually or with Excel or so on. And one benefit is that the data is available for any systems. If you want to build a profile about your products, and you will probably need to use the data for reporting to your end customers and to the shareholders and so on. So the data is really easily available and usable for all kinds of reporting needs.
Yes, do you, Timo, want to add
maybe
something?
Maybe I can add something. I think that the one big benefit is that you are having the data available all the time because it's generated as a part of the process. So I think that nowadays the way is very often that some a public party or end customer is asking, can you provide Excel sheets and so on. But in case when you are using this integrated with Jakamo, you can just have it all the time. The same as with this supplier compliance that we were talking last time, that you are just having it, you can provide it whenever needed. Or you can use it, because one important thing is that also that it's not only about the collecting the data, but how you use it then to improve your operations in your supply chain. So that's one thing also, that when you're having it real time, then you can make better decisions and have a co-development activities with your suppliers.
Yes, and actually that's something that we will discuss about in our next seminar, which will be held in 8th of May.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. We have one question here about how do you support the suppliers in this, since maturity on how to calculate differentiate a lot. Do you support them on that? And the validation of data put in the system.
Yes.
What about?
Yes. The system is built in a way that suppliers can build or import their own product data and the emissions data to the system. It needs to be matched to the customer product identifiers, but it can be done. And we are not requesting sustainability or product data every time customer is ordering something. Because once the data is updated to the system, we don't prompt about it anymore for the same product or item. When it comes to the data validation, we are not able to validate that the provided data is correct. Of course, that data needs to come from the supplier, and they need to make sure it's valid.
Okay, there's another question. Can you set default values that the suppliers need to fill in or provide in a type of template, or is it always that it needs to be separately request item by item and supplier by supplier? I think you sort of answered that question already, but
yeah, every field in products database, it contains two sides. And in my example, the supplier started from 0 and there were no default values there. But it is possible that if the customer has the data, there can be default values and to each and every field in products database.
Okay. Good. If you have any other questions, please put them to the Q&A section. We have one question more. If the supplier is using sales order EDI, do they have possibility to provide the data via the EDI connection? That's a good question. If the supplier have made the order intake integration to their own ERP and automatize that, is there an opportunity then to use it?
Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity, but it's not currently possible. It's not that tightly integrated to the order confirmation, which is providing the data regarding the purchase order. But it's a good point, and we have acknowledged that. And most likely, many suppliers are capable of providing that data via integrations and connections, and we need to develop things to that direction too. It's really been acknowledged, and we are aware that this might happen, and it's a good question and a good process for integrated customers.
Great. Is there some process available for emission data verification?
The way I understand this, Jakamo doesn't verify the data, or we simply need to trust the data that the supplier is providing us.
Yeah, providing a platform to collect it in a standardized way. Of course, that's helping in a way to validate it if you're always asking the same units and with the same format and so on from the suppliers. But yeah, as Matti said, we are not validating actual data.
Okay, that's good and clear answer. There's one more question. What sort of biodiversity related data can be collected? That's a good question.
I can take that because basically, as Matti was demonstrating, you can basically define what and in which format and with what units you want to collect. So that's something that each of the company, they can decide what is, if it's like a land area used to build up the factory or whatever that could be, they can decide what is relevant and then make those parameters and collect the data. Or do you want to add something, Matti?
No, that's exactly right. You can define any fields that you wish, and It can be sustainability related things, or it can be any other data that you need to know about your products from the supplier. It can be a packaged weight or dimensions or basically anything.
Or in the future, more and more like maybe social responsibility related parameters may come also as a part of this CS3D directive.
Good. Now we are in over time, and we will end this webinar. Thank you so much for participating this. You all will get this recording through email to your inbox, so you can come back to this. And the next webinar will be held, as said, in May, 8th of May, and then we will concentrate on how to build a strategic advantage of the sustainability topics in the supply chain. So please join our third webinar as well. I will now put the recording off, and thank you for all of you, and especially thank you for you, Matti and Timo.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day.